Well, my friend 2 days ago, she said, what is ALS and why is he in a wheelchair? I was like, well, we don't really know why he got ALS. The doctors are trying to find that out. But ALS makes you lose your muscles.
My dad can't use his muscles anymore. He speaks with his eyes.
In order to live with this disease, you have to have a good amount of tenacity. It is something that you will probably find in most people with ALS. I have always been that way, and I am a proud go-getter. I'm lucky enough to have found a partner who thinks exactly the way I do about love. It's really a rare thing. Love shouldn't be hard or complicated. If it is, you're probably not doing it right.
You know, sometimes there's a lot of empathizing with one another to continue this kind of relationship. You know, we have to stop and empathize. Jay's become kind of the brain in our marriage. You know, he's the thinker and he's introspective and he has time to kind of reflect on things. And I've become the hands and the legs and the brute strength. We still talk, we still argue, we still come together when it comes to parenting stuff and talk. A lot of times we'll text back and forth to kind of level the playing field a little bit if we're having kind of a heated discussion or a parenting discussion. And Jay's always been dad with a capital D. It's just trying to facilitate those moments for him to parent and trying to figure out how that works for everybody.
In retrospect, I had symptoms going back to 2009. It wasn't until early 2013 that the symptoms would worsen and didn't seem to go away.
And it wasn't obvious. It was just like maybe a slur of a word, and oftentimes it would happen after he'd have a beer or something.
We quickly went to the Mayo Clinic, where they told me it was probably ALS and there was nothing they could do for me. It wasn't until I saw Dr. Appel that I found my hope. By the time I was officially diagnosed, I had done quite a bit of research about the disease. The fact that it didn't receive more attention and research dollars blew me away. I couldn't understand why there hadn't been any significant progress on the disease since so many Americans, specifically veterans, dying from it. More veterans have died from the disease since 9/11 than all of the wars we've been since then combined. The disease gets ugly really quickly and people tend to look away. And the people diagnosed with it died too fast to get their stories heard. I wanted to change all that. I think the more of us willing to embrace the disease, share our stories and make others face it will be the only way to end the disease.
These people are so strong, fighting for themselves and their families, but also for everybody who gets this thing a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. And it'll look real different if you get diagnosed with this thing 5 years from now. We always say to each other and to the family, like, hey, this disease, it's gonna change at some point in time for some family. Why not us? You know, why not us? So that's how we live.
I know we can stop this disease and live in a world where it doesn't destroy a family every 90 minutes. I'm inspired by my wife and kids who, despite my physical limitations, are willing to stand up and fight right by my side. And still treat me like a husband and father, whether I like it or not. I definitely see and experience a whole nother level of love in everything. I find beauty in simple things that I might have been too busy to appreciate before. I want to show that despite all this mess, I can continue to triumph. I try and lead a typical existence in an atypical body. I figure this disease could go one of two ways. Either way, I want to be remembered living like a badass.